Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your home for gaming, tech, news, and reviews. In today's video, we are looking at the Rode PSA1 Microphone boom arm and comparing it with the Neewer version of the same thing. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, both of these microphone boom arms are in completely different price points. The Rode PSA1 retails for $99, where the Neewer version of the same thing retails for $13.50. I've been using the Neewer one on my channel since, for maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years. I have gone through a couple of them though, and I'll get to that in a bit. Now, both of these microphones come with nearly identical things. The Neewer one comes with a universal microphone holder. So if your microphone does not have a little thread on the inside where you can actually mount it to the microphone arm, the Neewer one does have a little holder where you can slide in the microphone. The Rode does not have this. The Rode has a desk mount though. So if you don't want to clamp this microphone stand to your desk, or maybe you run into an issue where your desk can't be clamped to, the Rode does have a mount system where you can drill right into the desk, mount this in, and then mount the arm to it. Now, something else to point out right here in the description for the Neewer microphone arm, it states it's not meant for the Blue Yeti microphone, and that's because the Neewer does not support a whole lot of weight. You can mount a Blue Yeti to it. You can mount this Electro Voice RE20 to it as well, and the microphone can hold it. You can get away with it. You can bend the rules a little bit here. The whole reason I'm doing this comparison is because I've been asked a bunch of times what the cheapest microphone arm you can get is, and how does it compare to a more expensive version. The Blue Yeti comes in at about half of what the microphone arm can support, 529 grams. The Electro Voice RE20 is a little bit heavier and it comes in at 745 grams, also below the maximum stated 1,000 grams. While the Neewer supports a maximum of 2.2 pounds, the Rode supports a maximum of 4.4 pounds. Now, looking at these microphone arms set up side by side, the Rode is on the left here and the Neewer is on the far right. You can probably see why the Rode holds more weight. There is a big size difference between the two. Both of these microphones attach to a desk the exact same way by a C-clamp. They both have very similar C-clamps. The bottoms are the exact same. I have the Neewer one in my hand right here. The top though, the Rode has a much bigger surface area than the Neewer. Both of these boom arms have almost the exact same range of motion. The big difference between the two is that the Neewer, you have to tighten and untighten it in order to move it around and lock it into place, where the Rode moves around just a little bit differently. With the Rode PSA1, you don't really need to tinker with it too much at all once you've got it set up. With me, I didn't have to make any adjustments whatsoever. I just screwed the microphone on and moved it around, and it stayed wherever I moved it. With either microphone arm, you can have the microphone pointed up or pointed down. It's really up to you. Now, for me personally, I have the microphone pointed upwards because I don't like to have the boom arm in the shot. Alternatively though, if you need the desk space, some people do have the microphone pointed down so that there is clearance underneath and it doesn't get in the way of anything on your desk. Now, in terms of cable management, the Neewer really doesn't have any. You do have to be careful with it as well that you don't pinch the cable or rip the cable out of the microphone in the exposed joints and springs. So I have done that a couple of times where I've accidentally ripped the cable out of the microphone or pinched the cable because it got caught when I was moving this thing around. You do have to be very careful with it. With the Rode, it has built-in cable management, so you can run the cable right along the top of the microphone arm. I'm going to lift my microphone up here and show you the cable ties. So here's the microphone cable running along the top of the Rode stand. You can also see the cable tie right here. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit. Hopefully this doesn't look too bad, but you'll probably be able to see the cable running along the top. And then at the joint here, there's actually a groove that's protected, so you can run the cable along the top of this joint as well. Now, in terms of overall fit, finish, and quality, this is where the Rode wins in a landslide. These are priced at two completely different price points, though the Neewer is sub $15 and the Rode is $100, but the Rode just feels better, it looks better, and it goes together a lot better than the Neewer. That's not necessarily a knock against the Neewer because of the price of the Neewer, but at the same time, I've been through a few different Neewer microphone arms. The Neewer has one major design flaw, and it doesn't necessarily matter the overall weight of the microphone you're using either. I've broken a Neewer stand using a very light microphone like the Blue Snowball, actually even lighter microphones than the Blue Snowball. The design flaw is where the base mounts to the clamp on the desk. It's a very thin piece of metal here that goes right into the base, and what ends up happening is this ends up bending if you move the microphone arm around a lot. It's a bit of a pain. You have to be very careful with it when you're moving it around, and you have to be consciously careful of it because if you're not, it will bend and break. And this one is actually on its way out. I don't know if you can see there, the paint is already starting to go from me moving it around, and the C-clamp here, I'll hold this up to the camera, you can see where the paint has worn away, where the microphone arm has kind of bent down and hit it. And yes, I was using this with an RE20, an Electro Voice RE20, a very heavy microphone, but this also happened with a Blue Snowball. And seriously, one of these actually ruined a desk I had because it bent down, and this part here ended up digging into the desk and scratching and gouging the desk, which wasn't really intended. I didn't realize that this had actually bent. So when I moved the microphone arm, I heard a really bad noise. I looked down and a chunk was taken out of my desk where this had bent and dragged across my desk. And I wasn't even putting a lot of force into it. It just happened to be a sharp angle. If you're looking for just a cheap microphone arm and you don't really care like I didn't for a couple of years, you can get away with the Neewer provided you don't move it around very often. If you're moving around the arm quite a bit, I would recommend maybe upgrading to the Rode. You'll be much happier overall. So is the Rode PSA1 worth $100? I can say yes. If you're in the market for a microphone arm that you want to move around quite a bit, you need a bit of reach, you want to clamp it to your desk or mount it straight up right to your desk, then the Rode PSA1 should serve you fairly well. If you want to go the cheapest option possible, then I can also recommend the Neewer arm, considering it's only $13.50. If you move it around a lot, you'll definitely go through 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of them, depending on how often you move them. But if you're just keeping it stationary, you don't plan on using it very often or moving it ever, then the Neewer is not a bad option at all. This is also a great option if you're not sure a microphone arm mounted to your desk is the solution you're looking for, or if it's even going to work for you. You can spend $13.50 and try it pretty risk-free. But if you're willing to spend the money, I would definitely recommend the Rode PSA1 well and above over the Neewer. On a side note, if $100 is too much to spend on a microphone and $13.50 is too little, I guess, Neewer also has a $42.99, so $43 upgraded microphone arm that looks very similar to the Rode PSA1. The big difference here between the Rode PSA1 and this one that I can see is the base mounting solution. So I can't confirm, but it looks like it might also suffer from the same design flaw as the cheaper Neewer microphone arm. But again, I haven't used this one, so I can't vouch for it. It's just an option that I wanted to show. But anyways, that is all I've got for today. Let me know in the comments below which of these boom arms was your favorite, or if you've got a different favorite, something else that you use, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Thank you everyone, take care.